What's up, guys? Awesome. Yeah, so I know the past few weeks have been a bit iffy, hit and miss on if we're live, if we're not live. I know last week we had a bit of an issue where we had Gavin scheduled, and then unfortunately at the last minute he had to cancel due to a family issue. And then for some reason, even though I shut down the what I thought was the live, YouTube still had it up and still presented it as if we were going live, and it confused a few people. So anyway, I wanted to apologize. It's been a bit of a tumultuous month or so over here, just between, people canceling and shit happening personally and all that kind of stuff. But as of this week, we're getting back to it, back weekly. And, we thank all of you for being here. So guys, if you're here, you know who the guest is. It's Rodney from Black Sun Reptiles. So without further ado, we're just going to get into it. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to upload the new one. Kathleen fixed my intro so it doesn't cut off in the middle of the next chord, and I forgot to change it. Damn it.
It was just getting good.
Oh, man, I know. Anyway, what's up, man? How are you?
Things are going good, man. Thank you. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Happy Friday. Seems like the chat's already live. It's good.
Oh, man. Oh, we're starting off real good. So I don't know if you saw, but today I posted up some HRA combos, and it's been a bit of a talk. People have been questioning whether they even have HRA in them, even though it came from a visual super.
Right.
And yeah, it's just been fun. But Gerald Taylor apparently hatched out a crazy one too. Man, people just keep sleeping on HRA. Please do. I love it. I think it's amazing. I know we got Nicole Lyons in the chat here too. I know she agrees. So
right.
Anyway, what's your week look like in terms of the snakes? Anything new? Anything exciting?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty knee deep in hatchling season right now. So as you guys could see, I've had some extra time to get things posted, keep everybody connected. But Right now, just, waiting for the eggs in the incubator to keep cooking. We hatched out some cool stuff. So just working on ID and everything and getting it pushed out. And it's really just a time of setting goals for ourselves and organizing, man. Cause I have to wait for one clutch to hatch to see if I'm going to hold this back or if I'm going to post it. So just a lot of juggling, but it's a good busy. It's a fun time of the year. So just super excited. We hit some cool stuff, that I'm excited about. And, that's all relative for everybody. But for us, I'm like, oh man, finally starting to hit the things that I've been waiting for.
You know what? That I'm going to use that as a great lead-in for my first question. It's not usually my first question, but we're throwing all the rules at the table or out the door, whatever you want to say. Where is it? You're talking about holding stuff back. You're talking about, what you're going to keep, what you're not going to keep. Why don't you tell everybody what it is you're working with? Yeah,
just starting off for us, one thing that we didn't have a bunch of that's, relatively generic, but inchy. And so we really ran our inchy yellow belly, our pastel inchy yellow belly to a lot of females just to kind of expand on some of the inchy stuff. So we hit some super pastel inchy yellow belly stuff that will hold back. We also just in the last, month or so launched our YouTube. And so in a lot of that, I talk about the mentality that we possess in terms of like what direction we're going into. So before I jump into a bunch of cool recessive stuff, I want to make sure that there's some codoms there. There's some meat on the bone a little bit. And so really we worked some of those projects from the ground up, and then other things we have going on. We already had the genes, and so it was go time. We're really trying to hit this super gravel pied stuff, highway pieds, things of that nature. So we hatched a bunch of highway pieds already, or highway het pieds, already.
I was going to say, damn, man.
We're waiting to see. We're waiting to see on this next clutch if
that's
we're going to
awesome,
have
that's amazing.
The visual. Yeah. So it'll be good. I know Scales is here. He's a highway guy. And so hopefully we can deliver on some of those aspirations.
I have one clutch this year just because the male decided to just be one of those males. Started pairing off food immediately, and it was his first year. So I have one shot, and I think it's in about 9 to 10 days of some entry asphalt pieds.
Yeah.
So I know, highway and freeway aren't exactly the same thing, but man, like
it's all relative.
I'm sitting over here crossing everything available that I could hit a male, even just an asphalt pied. If I can hit a visual male asphalt pied, the amount of yellow belly that we have kicking around in here.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's going to be wild.
I was actually earlier in the week watching one of your old videos, and you had said that you're not gonna say what you want to hit anymore because then it doesn't come true. So I'm gonna hold you to that. Don't say it.
So that kind of went out the window with our first clutch this year when we broke our pied curse. So I've gotten past that. I'll be
good.
Fine. But I find it kind of funny that out loud I told people that I broke our pied curse 2 clutches in a row, and then the curse came back to bite me in the ass about as hard as it possibly could. We had 9 eggs from a banana, orange dream, yellow belly, inchy pied.
Wow.
To a pastel het ready xanthic pied. 9 eggs. One went bad right away. The other, what did I lose? I lost another 3 in the last 2 weeks of incubation. And I'm talking like right gone, like deflated, colored, perfectly hard. Cut them open. Everything is just deformed. Shark mouth. One of the babies didn't have eyes. The worst part is I had an inchy ODYB pied, which would be a female because our male's a male maker, and a pastel version. And they would have both been females. The 2 females are the only ones that didn't make it out of the egg.
You almost don't even want to see it.
Right. I would have rather not.
You're right. Erase that.
But the ones that did crawl out, their shark mouth isn't actually all that bad. Like, I think they'll thrive. And this is actually a split clutch with friends of ours in town here, Jay, Pretty Balls. And you know what? They're still amazing. They're looking great. I was worried that they wouldn't go into shed because they all crawled out before their yolk was complete. Like, one of them didn't absorb any yolk. One of them only absorbed half and then just like pulled off. And then the other one was somewhere in between.
Just man.
And the last time I experienced that, the animal didn't go into shed right away, right? Okay. And I had to assist feed it a little while and sort of get it going. It ended up having its first shed when most animals would have their second shed.
Right.
But these guys are all going right into sheds. So I'm taking that as a good sign.
For sure.
And trying not to focus so much on the negative part of it, because when it first happened, oh man, it crushed me.
Yeah.
And I'll be completely honest. Last Friday, so we had Gavin lined up for Friday Night Live, Balls to You.
Yeah.
And he had to cancel because he had a bit of a family thing. So we have our own Discord, a lot of awesome people in it. And I said, you know what? Screw it. Because we're not having a live on YouTube, why don't I just cut this clutch in the Discord, in the voice chat, so everybody can see?
Oof.
And man, I was so excited to cut some of those eggs because, like, the first time you see a pastel ODYB Enchi pied in one of your own eggs, like,
gorgeous,
pretty amazing, right?
Gorgeous. Yeah, I'm a pied guy, man. I know you're a clan guy, but the thing that got me started went from
that
young.
Pastel ODYB Enchi pied would have won me over because
there you go.
It was all pattern.
Yes.
It was super bright. The darks, like the blacks, were super black.
That head stamp, the eye stripes, just insane.
Well, and the funniest part was, after a couple days, it moved, and I saw that it had no eyes, and I got even more excited because I was like, I was keeping it anyway.
Right.
But that just makes it even more unique. Like, it might be a little bit harder to get going and whatever, but like, that's just like, who can say they have that? But then it didn't crawl out.
Right.
So
yeah.
It is what it is. I've had a hell of a week.
Yeah, well, there's better things to come. I know I don't think I can type in the chat, Chris. So all of you guys have been saying hi. Happy Friday to you guys. Hopefully you have some things to look forward to this weekend. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate
so the only way you can type in the chat is if you log into YouTube on another device and respond. Right. I can. If there's any comments that you want me to throw up on the screen too. If anybody has any questions, I mean, we're already 10 minutes in, but if anybody has any questions, as always, feel free to drop them in the chat. Obviously, I'll throw them up for Rodney. But yeah, so you're pretty focused on getting Enchi into all the things right now.
Yeah, that was a priority for sure.
Dude, you can never have enough Enchi.
For sure.
And you can also never have enough yellow belly. So you're not doing it the wrong ways.
Those are two genes, especially being a pod guy, that I know just marry together very well. And even when you take it to some darker things. So yeah, that was a priority this year. There's things that we're focusing on that are right in front of us, but as you're well aware, there's things that we focus on that are 5 years beyond, and that's double recessive, triple recessive stuff. So pi DG / enhancer stuff is always goes good together. We have some clown stuff kicking around, but we're not huge into it. Our clown male is het pied. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna take him off the screen, guys. That's the end of this. He's done. No, I'm joking. Oh, not into clown. Man, you're killing me here.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful, and I'm not going to not have it. But when you have to answer a question, what's your fave? That's my answer. So.
I would have said the exact opposite, so I'm not going to give you a hard time. Okay. The only reason we even have pied is because Nick's favorite was pied. That's what got him in also. And his love for it and some of the animals we acquired as part of that kind of won me over. You know what I mean? Like, I slowly started seeing the appeal of it, and then I started seeing some of the variations, and it got me.
Yeah, what people are doing now with clown compared to the single gene when we first seen it and the single gene pied, I mean, it's apples to oranges. You show somebody, I don't know, Enchi yellow belly, orange dream clown or whatever, anything that has all these cool genes in a clown now, they're going to say, wow, that's amazing. But if you put a clown, 10, 15 years ago next to a pied, they're going to say, what is that thing with the white stuff going on? And that's probably when I first started drawing my interest into ball pythons, is when pieds, started showing up left and right. Like, I seen the albino, I seen the normals, and then I seen a pied and, pastel. The story, the history.
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, the first two ball pythons I ever remember seeing were two. It was a 1-1 pair of pieds at a local expo here. And this is before I was even really into like keeping reptiles. I had like a couple of Knowles and like some other odds and ends. Yeah. It was a 1.1 pair and it was $20,000.
Yeah.
And I talked to a couple people, and at the time that was fairly cheap. Like this person was trying to move them.
Still, yeah. They were trying to
which is insane.
A discount price. Yeah. No, it's
even if you just take like let's say a spot nose yellow belly clown and put it beside just a common clown or a blade clown. Like,
yeah,
if you would have showed a spot nose yellow belly clown to somebody 15 years ago, it would have fucking exploded the brain.
Right.
Same with like an ODY entry pied. Like,
yeah. Well, and the cool thing about, most of the people in this room who are contributing to this community expanding and these animals getting greater is that you don't have to necessarily choose that much anymore. You can have what you want, choose the path that you desire, and make cool stuff, and that's the neat part about where we're at now, in 2021 versus, 10, 15, 20 years ago, where
100%.
Yeah.
Sorry, you cut out. I thought you were talking.
Yeah, I was going to say where we could barely get these things to eat in a glass tank, so we've come a long way.
Another part of that too, that I kind of want to expand on is the hobby itself is just in a different sort of position than it was back then. Anyway,
right.
Back then, if you bought a pied, you had to be putting your pied to every animal you had. Like that. That's sort of how the ball python hobby was. If you were investing that kind of money, if you weren't putting it to everything you had, you were stupid. Right. Now I know people that focus on like two codoms and one recessive, and they make their entire living off that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can
Very
literally
doable.
like, this is all I'm doing.
Right.
And as long as it's still something people are after, man, like you can do pretty well. If you just go buy yourself 10 pied females and one, say 3 gene visual pied male, and every year you just put that same pied male, as long as it's not like I can't even think of 3 genes that I wouldn't want, actually. No, seriously, like, unless it's like a pastel lesser pied that's all white, like,
right.
I don't know what you could be making every year that you wouldn't be excited about still.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
So,
I mean, to have a room full of ball pythons in itself, back then you wanted to diversify what you were keeping, right? Different species, lizards, snakes. It was a bunch of different things. And now, like, you can have a room or a rack or whatever full of pies just as a hobbyist keeper and be satisfied, just from all the different color palettes and what have you. And that's transformational in and of itself, which is cool.
And it's even funnier because 10, 15 years ago, some of the color palettes we're working with now, people thought would never be possible in ball pythons.
Right.
So it just makes me think in the next 10 years, what colors are we telling ourselves will never be in this hobby that will suddenly show up in the right combo or in the right, you know what I mean? Because we're seeing certain genes hit shades of purple and like shades of blue.
Yeah.
So like, who the hell knows?
Well, the mindset has shifted tremendously. It used to be what you can't make, and now it's what you can make.
Yeah, 100%.
Listening to some of the younger generation getting into the hobby, which is incredible, their aspirations are to make stuff that nobody's ever seen. And if that's going to be 10, 15 years down the road, well, you better believe that's going to be some amazing stuff. Well,
the coolest part is the hobby's now got to a point where everybody seems to be making something that nobody's touched before. And if that's the case, next year, everybody's going to just be going one step further. And even new people getting in, the stuff available for new people getting in at not a lot of money that can still make you insane, really, really beautiful animals. It's mind blowing. Yep. Like, I was just thinking back to some of the animals I sold last year. And like, I'm talking even just males that I, wholesaled off because I couldn't be bothered to actually sell them. And when I say wholesaled off, I have a buddy in town that owns a pet shop. Yeah. So perfect. I basically just give them my animals for some credit, and I use it towards, like hedgehog stuff, cat food, like whatever.
Dry goods. Yeah. Cool. Perfect.
And like, Enchi Spectre / Yellow Belly, 100% het pied, 50% het lav male. That went to that guy for $35.
Oof.
10 years ago, that animal would have been worth it would have paid my feeder bill for the year.
Right.
Like it's insane what's out there. And it's insane what's out there that we don't even know. Like all these people picking up these wholesale animals from pet stores.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll never have any idea.
And then decide they want to put animals together.
I wholesaled 2 Pos Het Monsoons last year.
Oh.
Males.
Yeah.
So it's
that's the true Willy Wonka's golden ticket.
Well, the first monsoon came from a special that was bought at a pet store.
Wow, that's incredible.
That just looked like a funky normal at the time. So
yeah, and I think there's a lot of that still exists too. You know, I know that trend has died down quite a bit in terms of like proven dinker projects and what have you, but there's still a lot of that to be done. You know, if you get your hands on something that looks abnormal or what have you, and that stuff intrigues me too. There's, speaking of projects and something that's trendy now, the puzzle project intrigues me because you're still at the forefront of a project just like Monsoon, where you can, change pattern, change color, and be at a point in the project where you're still not necessarily a pioneer, but still early enough in it to manifest some of those results. And that's cool. That is really cool. So you
100%.
go from Pied the Clown as a traditionalist to, Puzzle Monsoon and some of these other genes, as a modernist. And that stuff it just never gets old. It's just really cool.
So, and you know what? I'm not a huge puzzle fan, and I'll be the first to admit it, but I see the appeal of it, and I understand why people love it. It's the same reason I love Clown. It just blitzes the pattern, and the different combos can do wild stuff. So, especially with what you're saying, like there's a lot of simple combos even with puzzle that haven't been done yet, because a lot of the people that had it focused on just making more visuals at first, right? Because they just wanted more puzzle stuff. So I saw, it was D's balls.
Yeah, Dylan. I was just going to say that Mojave puzzle.
The Mojave puzzle. That thing looks amazing.
Yeah.
When he sent me the picture of that, I was like,
single gene. Wow.
I love how it brought that rich browns from the Mojave. Like just not what I expected for a puzzle at all.
Mojave's really a strong gene. Mojave's a strong gene too. So yeah, that was cool.
No, it is. And you know what? Like that's the same reason why I really like having the Stranger right now versus in 5 years. Like, we probably paid a little more than we wanted to for it, but some of this stuff we're going to be making, nobody's hit before. Some of these eggs that we're going to be opening are going to be animals nobody's even dreamed of.
Right.
And it's like
that's
the money is the exciting part. I'm just excited to see them.
Exactly. And that's the line you're always towing though. Like, what is too much of a risk to get into a project? I think there's a constant battle with people that are taking on new projects. Is this too risky or not? People are sitting but if you make the right move at the right time, there's something to say for that. So
I gotta say this was a good week for the people that have Stranger stuff.
I seen some of that info floating around. Yeah. Cheers.
This is a good week for us. So I kind of like I started the week with the bad of the clutch. And also on top of that, so last Friday, before I cut that clutch, I was coerced into going golfing for my boss instead of working. And I thought it was a great idea, except I have a giant ass head, hats don't fit me, and I didn't have any sunscreen.
Oof.
So I came home with sunscreen.
How's that golf swing though?
Terrible. I am so bad at golf. But I came back with the worst sunburn and heat stroke.
Oof.
So I lost my entire weekend to that. Then I cut the clutch, was super excited for a little bit, and then noticed all the crap happening.
Dang.
So it's just been like this, right? And now all of a sudden that Pastel Stranger Mahogany came out, and I was like, there it is. I needed that.
That's what you needed.
I needed that. And then fucking Roland hits the fucking Mojave Banana Stranger Clown today.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Is it crazy?
It's on. I posted it to our stories, but about a million other people also did. Go check it out when we're done here, man.
Okay.
It's one of no, not one of. It's the nicest banana clown, coral glow clown I've ever seen.
Maybe I did see that. I believe it. Yeah, it's insane.
Crazy. Anyway, Nicole asked a question a while ago. I popped it up here, and we just sort of talked past it. So,
okay.
If you could only choose one double recessive project to work with, what would it be and why?
I guess it would be contradictory to not choose a pied, right? So I would say DG pied or DG puzzle, to be honest. So
It's funny that you said DG pied because the clutch I cut next is my Leo DG het pied to my ivory. Yeah. So that'll be a sick clutch. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think any double recessive, any of us, could take and work for the rest of our lives, and just continue to work it and refine it. And
now, hold on though, because I think there's also you need to be really excited for something like that to commit to it forever, right?
True.
We're working with Dreamsicle, and I love Dreamsicle, but I'm starting to get this feeling that we're kind of reaching. I don't want to say the point of no return with Dreamsicle, but less and less every year that comes out with it is blowing me away. Now, what Justin is doing with Lavender stuff is completely different. But a lot of those genes, once you put them in pied, like Leopard, it just, is kind of meh. So I don't know if I'll have my Dreamsicle stuff forever. Now, this year, next year, the year after that, we have some cool shit. I can make some black pewter dreams. I can make some black pastel Mojave dreams. Those might be awesome. But
I like blackhead and lavender.
Now,
speaking of Nicole,
that's the one thing that might keep me in the Dreamsicle project.
Yeah.
So we have a girl right here, blackhead mystic red gene het lavender that went to our yellow belly pied het lav.
Beautiful.
So I could prove myself wrong.
Right.
But realistically, even though there is some stuff that could still be done with Dreamsicle and stuff, it wouldn't be my choice. Even though we've invested in it, we're committed to it. Yeah. But if you told me, hey, pick one, fuck, I'm in probably 6 double recessive projects, and I've yet to hatch a single visual double recessive.
For sure. Well, and that's what I'm saying in terms of time consumption and those projects. If you dial in and focus on a double recessive project fully through, it's very time consuming. But yes, you can dab over here and work a lot of different angles from it and extend yourself, which is fine. I think a lot of us are doing that, frankly. But
oh no, I've completely overextended myself. We are at a point where we need to pick a couple of them and actually stick to it. Right. We have VPI clown, hypo clown, VPI xanthic clown, hypo clown, hypopied, clown pied, DG pied. There's a lot of pied here.
And
then we have the ultramale hypopied coming in, the visual male that me and Billy bought together, or Nick and I and Billy bought together. Right. So visual triple recessive.
Wow.
So I have two clutches of my first shots of visual recessives in the incubator right now. But the only reason I'm even in the VPI clown stuff is because Will Moreau sold me a spot nose yellow belly clown that was 50% het VPI.
And it proved?
No.
Oh.
I haven't got a clutch from him. Well, I got a clutch in the incubator. Now, it's my first clutch, and it was to a clown.
Okay.
But when we got him, we went, well, what the fuck? We might as well buy 1 or 2 VPI xanthic females to prove them out, just to see, right?
Right.
Because, regardless of what he makes, I want to know if it's 50% het so I can list it.
100%.
So we got him in January of last year. And at the same expo we picked him up from Will at, we bought a visual breeder VPI xanthic female.
Nice.
He did not get up to size in time. So we put our Motley Clown to her.
Okay.
And now I'm growing up 1.2 Motley double hets. So like I don't even know what they're gonna look like. But
right. But that's cool though.
But then
I've
Billy,
had the worst luck with I bought a big VPI female and she slugged out on me. Now this will be the second time in 13 eggs, slugs 2 times in a row.
Fuck, that sucks.
Yes. Yep. So I don't know if she's gonna make the cut, but I was really looking forward. I have some snow stuff already on the ground, which is great. Nice. Yeah, I have some. I think I hatched 3 snows.
Holy shit!
Yep, and then one more visual, just regular.
So you kicked my ass to the double recessive finish line. That's for fucking
yeah.
sure.
I mean, albino's not as sought after, but I'm going to work with it because, to be honest with you,
it's still a double recessive.
Yeah, it's. I mean, what Garrick DeMeyer does with albino is inspiring. I think Sal's probably in here. He's just timeless, and he just works it, and then I just keep seeing cool stuff. I mean, Lavender is probably sexier, but regular albino is still cool to me. So
the thing with Lavender versus regular albino, though, and here's the thing: like, I'm a Lavender guy. If you had to ask me one or the other,
right?
But I will not shit on albino because I've seen some animals that, like, as a standard albino looks amazing, and I know if you switch that over to a Lavender albino, wouldn't look as good.
Mm-hmm.
Billy made a super asphalt albino last year, and it was the nicest albino I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Honestly, if that was a Lavender, if those whites went away, I don't think the yellows would be as ridiculous and in your face and amazing. So
I have
still has its place.
I have a phantom yellow belly albino that I hatched this year, and he's
nice.
He's a stunner. He just those yellows and the white and I'm just a sucker for contrast. So wherever I can get.
I also just love yellow belly in albino and in Lavender. Like, you get a good expression.
Yep, it's cool. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said before, I mean, you can go lots of different directions. Know what you like and work it, but. Yeah,
I think you still have to pick one, though. I don't think you picked just one.
Which one? Double recessive?
Yeah,
I did.
You said 2. You didn't pick one.
Do I have to get rid of my other projects? No, I'm just kidding. I'll say DG Pod. I'll stick to my guns.
And I'm going to go Clown Pied, and I don't think that should surprise anybody because Clown Pieds are our biggest project. So.
Yeah, that's huge, and the best of both worlds.
Hold on, there was another question up here somewhere. Oh. Either of you working with yellow belly GHI Pied?
I have a GHI Mojave coming to size this year, which will probably go to a pied. But no.
Kind of, yes. So this is going to seem like a really big nut flex. And I'm sorry, but we have a Leopard GHI double het clown pied female growing up. Sick. And the male going to her is an orange stream, yellow belly, possible Leopard pied het clown.
Wow.
So indirectly, I kind of am. And honestly, yellow belly and GHI and pied, like yellow belly GHI pied. I think Miguel made the one that won me over last year. It's one of my favorite pied combos. It's amazing. Oh man, I love it. If I could hit one, I wouldn't even be upset that I missed on the clown pied.
Right.
They're beautiful. Okay, we haven't got to any more of my questions. We've kind of just been going, and people have been commenting.
It's been good. Thank you, guys.
Guys, if any more questions too, drop them below. We will get to them, even if they stay on the screen for 15 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, sorry.
But we are going to jump into the next one.
Yeah.
What are, I don't want to ask for all of them because I know asking for goals even next year are really hard because you don't even know what you've made or are keeping this year. But ideally, what are your goals for 3 to 5 years from now based on where you are right now?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And to be honest with you, I was just working on setting some goals for myself earlier today. I think for us right now, the priority is expansion. We've kind of figured out that we like what we're doing and that we're, successful at it. I think this is our 4th year in producing ball pythons. We've produced leopard geckos and other animals prior. But I think for us and just where the market is and how the industry's going, it's like, yeah, you know what, let's expand and get serious about what we're doing. So I think 3 to 5 years is to have a new building. We're actually on a real estate hunt right now. I went and walked about 5 properties, but the market's crazy, as everybody knows. So it's been tough just to find the right one. But yeah, expansion will be one, and then also becoming more efficient. So really refining some of these projects, as most of you guys do as breeders, just evaluating what we need to keep, what we need to, replace, and then picking the best animals for the collection. I think
Rodney, you're starting to cut out a little more like when we first started.
Okay.
I'm not sure why, because everything's coming through on my end. It says connection's great and everything.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't want people to be.
You want me to leave and come back, or do you want me to?
You can try if you want, or if you think there's something else that might be affecting it.
You sound good.
You also, like, your audio is great. It's just your video's clipping, and sometimes when the video clips a lot, it cuts the audio a little bit. Like, I can still hear you fine.
Okay.
Maybe just jump out and jump back in.
Just hit
or
the
if
X.
you want to use that as a chance to go to the washroom or whatever, feel free.
Yeah. I'll jump out and jump back in. I'll hit the X and just come back.
Cool. Sounds good, man. I'll see you in a sec. All right, guys. We'll keep this going. But yeah, you know what? Oh, so apparently Rodney sounds and looks good. So apparently that's on my end. And if that's the case, I'm just going to keep going with it. I don't care if I'm unhappy. Yeah, I'm always unhappy. So let's just wait for him to come back and we'll keep going. He was being very.
All right. We good?
Apparently, you've been good to everybody else but me. So as long as I can still understand you, we're just going to keep on going. Okay.
Well, I apologize. So.
No, hey, you know what? As long as I can understand what you're saying, it doesn't bother me. It's just with what everybody else is hearing or seeing, that's what's going to upload to the YouTube video after, obviously, right? So I just wanted to make sure it was nice and clear. But everybody's saying good?
Yeah, feel free to give us some feedback in the chat if something's going wrong, and we'll fix it. But all right, Chris. So yeah, 3 to 5 years. So expansion, and just really, we're at a point right now where we're just trying to become more efficient. I think we started off a bunch of het pied animals, right? Like, we're no longer going to need those. I'm holding back, an inordinate amount of visual pied females, so. Just doing those types of things and being strategic. We just have access to some of the greatest minds that have ever done this, that are just feeding us so much information. It's just irresponsible, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, not to take it and to apply it to what we're doing. So it's pretty good that lots of these guys have came before us and made mistakes before us and are sharing their journeys, because they don't have to. A lot of people could just, stick to themselves and let us fail. And I've heard you talk multiple times about previous generations' cultures. And the culture was not one of sharing and graciousness. It was one of, isolation and really sometimes even exploitation, like taking advantage of people. And so I totally appreciate.
I'll keep that for a second. I'll let you finish your thought. But
yeah, I totally appreciate, how many people. A guy that comes to mind is Ozzy. I mean, I don't know if he's really even passionate about YouTube, being that his channel is, stagnant for so long, but he's literally making it a point to make videos to share with us about information that's worked for him and that will work for us, for the good of the market or what have you. But anyways, there's lots of guys doing it, lots of guys that have been here for multiple 15 plus years that are doing it. The obvious one, Billy, he's constantly connecting with the people and sharing practices that are going to help people be better. The list goes on. But in terms of guys, like ourselves, who are under 5 years, under 10 years, what have you. Shame on us if we're not taking this information and applying it to our approach with the animals. So that's just kind of where I am right now with the way that I see things. I've met just a tremendous amount of well-educated people in terms of reptiles that are willing to share. I mean, text messages, DMs, try this, do that. Hey, this looks good. Have you ever thought about this? Just random people. They don't have to reach out, and they do. And it's just incredible. So, obviously it's not always rainbows and unicorns. You know that. There's things that take place that are challenging, and people are going to have disagreements. But I think more times than not, we can openly disagree and still move on, both successfully in our thoughts. And before, that wasn't necessarily the case. You get hung at the stake, so to speak. So
it's kind of crazy, actually. Having been part of that old generation for a time, and then coming back into it, I want to say almost at the start of the new generation. I don't really know what you want to call it, but like the new ideals, I guess, of the community, right?
Right.
And it's just been amazing, because before I was so like, you want to love the animals, but the actual community actually like almost exhausted you out of it before. Whereas now the community on my bad days are what helped me stay in it. Like,
that's huge.
It's insane, the difference. It's insane the change that's happened, and I'm so fucking happy for it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so glad it did. But
sure. I also think there's, and I've talked about this before, and anybody that knows me, I'm a huge advocate for balance. You can't put all your energy into the community, and you can't put all your energy into the animals, because sooner or later there's going to be some turmoil in both. And being balanced and having strategies to navigate those situations is probably something that people don't talk about enough. One of my favorite episodes that you did, and that really turned me on to you, Chris, to be honest, is when you and Sal sat down, I think, with your significant others, and talked about the mental health aspect of people, and how that kind of transitions into keeping of animals and what have you. And that, like I said, people are now just getting comfortable talking about the financial aspects of ball pythons. I think the next step is going to be about taking care of yourselves and taking care of your family as much as you're taking care of your animals. Because we've seen so many great people leave this industry because their pillars weren't balanced, and great people and great breeders and, people we still herald as some of the founders of this industry. And it's sad not to see them not have made it because maybe there are some things imbalanced. So that's my 2 cents on it.
The thing that actually spurred me on to start that, and all the shout outs in the world to both my wife Sierra and Sal and Amy over at House of Gaia. One of the people that got me into this, and I'm not going to say names because I'm not going to say that they got out before they achieved anything or anything like that, because they made some really cool stuff. I still have a snake in my collection, and they got out before I got back in. I still have a snake in my collection from them. But somebody that I really respected when I first got in, and this is going back like 15 years, right? Got out just because they couldn't take the mental stress,
right?
The bullshit of, and when I say bullshit, I mean it in the nicest way possible, but like dealing with shitty customers and dealing with, at the time, shitty people on the internet, and you know what I mean? This and that, and it's not fair, because as a society outside of this hobby, we're becoming a lot more understanding of mental health and what's required to keep people happy and healthy and be more accepting.
Right.
But I feel like there's a lot of niche communities well outside of our hobby too, that don't really take that into account.
Yeah.
If a guy like Billy disappeared tomorrow and stopped posting videos for a month because he needed a break, I'm sure 90% of people would understand, but the 10% of people that didn't would be the ones bitching and complaining and fucking whining about it as if they're
entitled to it, right?
Entitled, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is so mentally strenuous,
right,
on anybody. Like and it's even happened to me, and this is more a me problem now because I just feel bad about everything. But even when I have guests cancel, like when I don't do a show, I don't enjoy my night off. Like I feel bad.
Right.
And it's not because of the community. And I'll be happy to say that. That's because of me. But I can only imagine having an audience 10 times my size, 50 times my size, 100 times my size. And having to not put on a show that people are expecting, because even at my size, we have 22 people, like, and this is a great audience. And sometimes it goes up to 30, 40 people. Sometimes
there's relationships. Yeah.
I still get the odd comment like, oh shit, no show tonight. Damn. Like,
right.
I was really excited for it. And like, I know people aren't trying to be negative when they say that. They're just trying to be like, oh darn, like I'll catch you next time. But like, it still hits me. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm letting people down.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine when you have tens or hundreds of people either commenting on your YouTube or your Facebook or your fucking Instagram posts, like it could wear you down, and people need to be more understanding of the fact that some people just need time to themselves. I've canceled one of these just because I needed a mental health day. Like
that's important. For sure.
I needed it. I couldn't do it. I did not think I would be able to sit here, whether I'm drinking or not, and get through one of these without either freaking out, breaking down, or just shutting it off. So
well, yeah,
I didn't do it.
And I think
go ahead.
What you're describing is a maturity about yourself that a lot of people, maybe haven't developed. And so then they force themselves because of their commitment or because of their relationships to overextend. And that's where we're seeing, the breaking points. And we're seeing some of these tragedies where people are kind of going irate or what have you. But yeah, at the end of the day, we really don't know what's going on. And I'll segue that right into Amy. Yeah, I don't know what she's juggling over there. So I just know that shirt will be here at some point, and I'll be happy when I get it. So that's
Sal's wife, Amy. That's House of Guy Pythons.
Yeah, no, they're great. I actually talk to Sal often. He's somebody that I connect with in terms of keeping my pillars balanced. Super positive and just real. I think it's nice to have people that are going to be honest with you regardless of whatever the topic of conversation is. So.
Oh, and you know what? Like, especially those two. Like, I know, they're doing their YouTube thing. I'm doing my YouTube thing. Mm-hmm. It would be very easy for everybody to just sort of lose each other in what they're doing. And like those guys, no matter when we talk to them, no matter how long it's been since we sent them a message, just the nicest humans ever.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, they're both just wonderful. So it's very nice not to have that stress, because anytime I try to put something together, especially for YouTube, and I don't mean like just having a guest on my show. I mean, like, if I'm trying to put together, sometimes, and I say sometimes, I've done it once because it hasn't worked out any other time, but sometimes I try to set up roundtables where I have more than one guest on at a time.
Yeah. And
I did one with Wilma Rose, Khalil 514 Reptiles.
Oh, I seen that.
And
in June,
Ballistic Pythons. Yeah. And it was awesome.
It was sick.
Great. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll try to set one up and I'll be like, hey, this is what I'm aiming for. I want you to be a part of it. It might not happen. We might have to do it another day. And all of a sudden the person that I ask is like, oh, is it happening? What's going on? Like, and I get harassed, and it's to the point where I just want to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's not fun if you're harassing me. I get that you need to know, but it's like 3 weeks ahead of time. Like,
yeah, you're talking about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. What started out as something intrinsic that you wanted to bring people together and share space, became a nuisance because it started turning into extrinsic, right? we love doing things we want to do until somebody's telling us to do it at this time for this wage at this point in our day.
And the thing is, I don't even want to call it a nuisance because I know a lot of that is me. I'm a very introverted person. Right. And honestly, this YouTube is probably the most extroverted thing I do.
Good for challenging yourself.
Yeah. I love talking snakes, person to person. If you ever asked me to get on a fucking stage and talk snakes, I'd be fucking done. No. But I found this avenue works for me because even though people are watching, I just feel like I'm talking to you or I'm talking to sort of whoever else that I'm talking to, and just it's tough, man. Like it's very hard to balance. It's very hard to even today. You know what? I'll just be fucking straight. Even today, I did not have a good sleep last night. Like I'm going on like 3 hours sleep. I was at my office all day. I got home. I had to ultrasound all my snakes. I went through. I was cleaning. Then dinner was ready, and then I had to come right here. And like part of me was just like, "Oh man, I don't know.
I don't know if I have it in me.
I don't have the energy." But like, I wanted to. You know what I mean? So I kind of forced it into being. But like, it happens.
Sometimes that makes all the difference, though. Sometimes that makes all the difference. It's to push through some of that. I think the people that when they hit that little resistance give up every time, they miss out on a lot of opportunities, and for you, I don't know if some miraculous miracle is going to come of us hanging out tonight, but hopefully it does. Hopefully something is said or stated that you could take away and propel it into your weekend. And really, to be honest with you, that's who I like to share space with is people that maybe those little magic moments are going to happen more often than not. And that's important.
I mean, that's definitely a good way to look at it. It's without going too much deeper into this, just because we have an entire separate show dedicated to all this.
Right. Crossover.
Don't don't expect everything from everybody. You know what I mean? Like it's
people are people.
I don't know how to vocalize what I'm trying to say right now, but like everybody that you look up to or everybody that you follow, everybody that you watch for snakes and all that kind of stuff. They all have their own shit going on. Just give them a break now and again.
Yeah, no. It really does come to being accepting and being flexible, and that's something in my professional life that I teach lots of little people and lots of big people on a regular basis, and it's easier said than done. But yeah, you're right. The human piece is huge. You don't know what that person on the other phone is dealing with or what have you. And sometimes it's a lot, but yes, that is always important to touch base on, regardless if we're here talking about snakes or not, because without the people taking care of them, we're not here. So
it's actually kind of funny. The first show that I missed, and I want to say it was about 6 weeks in, I think I did 6 straight and then I had to miss one. And I didn't even announce a show for that week. It's not like I announced a show and then had to cancel. I just didn't announce a show.
Right.
And come Friday night, I want to say it was like maybe 8:30 my time, and I got a message. And it was like, "Hey man, what, you're not going live tonight?" No, was I supposed to? Like, they're like, "Oh, well, you're always on Fridays." Like, yeah, when I promote them.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway,
people are driven by patterns, man. So, I mean, at least they were wanting to see you on a Friday, just
and that's the other thing. Like,
yeah,
that's why I was talking about kind of like feeling like I'm letting people down, even if I'm not necessarily. Like, if people want to see you, like, you don't want to be the guy to be like, well, too lazy this week. Like, I'll try again next week. You kind of want to pull it together and make it happen anyway, right? But man, there's just some days you can't. You just
Yep. And I think, moving forward, if those days come again, Chris, you just throw out a little message, hey, on vacation this Friday, and just keep it moving. Because people do want to stay connected to you. You've obviously made an impact on them. if they're following you and if they're looking forward to your show. So just the way that you're managing it, might sway the result, and maybe be less stressful for you to have to, respond to those messages after. Just little stuff, man. I mean, just like the snake, we just keep tweaking stuff. Same with people.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's kind of a case by case basis, I think.
Yeah.
Right? So,
True.
not to linger on this too long. I'm just going to jump to another question.
Let's do it.
If that's cool with you.
Yeah.
I am going to let you explain this. I need to go grab another drink. I'll be 2 seconds.
For sure.
So, sorry. For the audio only people, the question is, I don't know why it says what is the origin of your business name?
Yeah. So Black is my family's last name. So that was pretty straightforward. I grew up in the West Coast. I was born and raised in California. About 20 minutes from the ocean, San Francisco Bay Area. So the sun always sets in the west. And really the sun is kind of the center of everything, reptiles, they need heat, sun, what have you. So it's kind of just synonymous, with each other, sun, reptiles. So it made sense to me. And then we've always loved lizards as much as snakes and just all reptiles, turtles, everything. Pac-Man frogs. We've had a little bit of everything, from when I was a kid to now as a parent myself. So I didn't want to make it morphs or ball pythons or what have you, because once we expand, I envision similar to what Billy did, opening those doors with different types of species when we have the more space. So Black Sun Reptiles. So it just all kind of came together, and that's what we decided to do. But yeah, that's the origin of it. I don't know if there's any other questions, but
shit.
Good. Yeah, no worries. There are other.
I came back. I literally hit a button and I hit the wrong button and I kicked myself out.
Yeah, it's okay.
Cool.
So yeah, that's a short version of it.
Unfortunately, I missed that whole thing, but I'm sure it was amazing.
Yeah, Black's our family's name, and then the sun sets in the west. I'm a California kid, and so then reptiles, because we've always kept multiple different species. So it's pretty straightforward, but meaningful to us. So,
but you picked reptile over ball python, or I heard the tail end of it.
Yeah.
Over like morph or whatever, because you didn't want to pigeonhole yourself, right? You didn't want to be stuck.
Yeah,
that's exactly why we went with reptile over anything like that too. Like, I work with ball pythons now,
right?
But there are so many species that I want to work with when we have more space. Like, man, I want to breed fucking tortoises. I want to breed fucking monitors. Like, down the line. But
monitors, man, you're a beast.
Changing my name in 3-4 years. Like,
exactly. Yeah, and to each his own. I mean, that's just what, like I said, made sense to us. We have bearded dragons. I have a nice lot of leopard geckos that I haven't bred in a couple years, just because we wanted to focus on the ball pythons. But great lines there, and I can't tell you how many times I get hit up for leopard geckos and I don't have any. So it's like, hey, do you want a ball python? But so next year we'll start producing leopard Leos again. They're awesome. They were the first kind of color palette based reptile for me that was easily bred, but gave you lots of different variations in colors. So it made sense.
I honestly think leopard geckos kind of opened the door for ball pythons, if that makes sense, because like leopard geckos were that first like easy reptile, and they're pretty and they're bright and they're colorful, and so I think
they didn't give you 30 eggs.
Really helped the ball python hobby sort of get a step in the door with the general public.
Right. Yeah.
We already asked that question. So what about this? How many clutches are you expecting? Or like, from what you've had to what you're still waiting for, how many do you think you're getting?
Man, I think we're right under 20. I think I paired 19 or 20 animals, and man, I think we're going to hit 18. One of the animals was a stretch, a 1,600 gram het pied female that I tried to run one male to her and he wasn't getting the job done. Then I threw another one in there. So I don't even know if they locked. So I don't even know if I should count that or not, but we definitely had a high yield this year. So I was shooting for like 15. And so we're definitely going to beat that. And then I was just talking to Chris before we got on air. The one that I gave up on that I've been telling people isn't going to go, just moved to the back and moved all the cocoa. So if she goes, that'll be outstanding. Then we'll pretty much be almost all the animals that we paired minus that one. So
did she shed recently?
I mean, within enough of a time span for it to be a prelay. Yeah. Yep. So we'll see.
There you go.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. So
actually, hold on. We were talking about the ultrasound before we came on here, and I wanted to keep this part of the conversation to the live because I didn't want to burn through all the good combo before we were live. But one of the things that I really like about the ultrasound, because I told you how it's not making a huge difference in our season, right? Mm-hmm. The one big thing it is changing for me is I'm now seeing a lot of patterns that I didn't notice before. Mm-hmm. One being I'm noticing a lot of girls have their pre-ov shed between 15 and 20 millimeters.
Okay.
Before, I couldn't tell you one. Like, I wouldn't have even looked for a pre-ovulation shed because I didn't even believe in them before.
Oh, really?
But every female, other than one this year, has done it in the exact same spot in building. That's
cool. That's good info to have.
Something I never noticed. And I even brought it up to Billy, and Billy was like, no, that doesn't happen. Oh. I disappeared for a second. Hello?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me? Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. You're all right.
I even brought it up to Billy, and Billy was like, oh, that doesn't happen. And I was like, dude, just like track them, watch. And it's been crazy. Like,
it's like clockwork, huh?
Well, but not only that, I've also realized that these animals aren't like clockwork.
Right.
Because I had 2 different females, both that already have eggs in my incubator right now, that went from 32 millimeters to ovulation inside 7 days.
Wow. Yeah. It's pretty quick.
32. So most people say you have to get over 40 before they ovulate. These were smaller girls. They were both first year breeders. I had multiple people tell me that because they ovulated early, they would drop slugs. Not a single slug between them.
Well, yeah, that's one thing that we started off with. I think the first 10 clutches, not one slug. I mean, we were killing it, and then a few that Xanthic girl slugged out. But I mean, I'm going to attribute that to her. But yeah, I mean, it's been good. But I can't wait to enter the ultrasound world for that exact information that you just shared. Just being able to see that and track that. Like if you look at some of my bins, actually, most of them are probably empty now because most of my girls have gone. Oh, this one right here. You see how there's some writing on here? Mm-hmm. So I just use a China marker, and this is just where they're at follicle-wise. February 6th, 9 mil. March 6th, 15 mil. May 2nd, 20 mil. May 22nd, 32 mil. Then she ovulated, and now June 24th, prelay shed. That's awesome.
And I just keep it all in the bin, and it's just really cool because at one time, a couple months ago, I had multiple bins going where like girls were inching closer to ovulation,
right?
And you could see that they start out building this roughly the same like development speed, like when they're smaller, like between like 5 and 10 and 15, and then after 15 to ovulation, the difference has been crazy. A couple of them took 5 months. A couple of them were there in a month and a half to 2.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's just really cool to be able to see that information kind of in real time back to me. So that's honestly like my scientific mind has been the biggest winner in terms of us buying that ultrasound.
Yeah, no, that's huge. And I like to tap into that too, the analytical part of things. For those in the audience that aren't ultrasounders, what system did you use before, Chris? Was it like a 3-week period where you introduced like what we're using? Because that's a huge conversion. Like you're literally changing not only your mindset, but your system once you get that. So what did you do previous?
So before I was if you've watched any or well, I don't want to say a lot, but any of Billy's podcasts or videos, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am very good at palpating.
Okay. No, that's a talent. Toot.
Yeah, no. Like when I got into this, I didn't think I'd be able to afford an ultrasound for another, like from now, 7 years. Like I thought it'd be like 10 years out, right?
Right.
So I was like, fuck this. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how many hours I have to do this. I'm going to learn how to do this. So working at Billy's obviously helped a lot because I knew where certain girls were roughly. And then when Billy would ultrasound, I could check them and kind of get an idea. So basically what I would do is I would palpate all my girls and then I would go to Billy's and I would know certain ones that were like either in prelay shed or.
Okay.
So I could kind of get a kind of a judgment on where stuff was. And I just did it over and over and over again until basically I could be like, okay, this girl's just starting, don't need a pair yet. Oh, this girl's like 15, 20, mail in. Like she's bull wrapping and she's at like 15 mil. Got to put a mail in. Now, that said, because you're palpating, you can't be bang on. And kind of what I'm realizing is some of these smaller girls, so you've heard that like 40 to 45 mil range in terms of like before they off, right?
Right.
I'm starting to realize that I don't think some of these smaller girls actually even get that big before they ovulate. I think some, because I told you, two of mine were at 32 and oved in 7 days, right?
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of factors involved. And I don't think every snake ovulates at the same follicle size. I think a smaller girl that can only hold smaller eggs is going to ovulate at a smaller follicle size because her eggs aren't going to get as big anyway.
It's rational. Yeah.
That is something I could have never found out palpating.
Yeah, it's true.
But
or organized, you know. That's
exactly.
But you're able to organize that data. So,
but the thing is, whether that girl's actually at 15 or 20 doesn't matter. If she ovulates at 35, I'm putting a male in at 20 anyway, right?
Right.
So all it's having the ultrasounds done versus not having it has helped me sort of track those things to make me more aware of it. But I got to the point where like I wasn't missing any of my girls. If they reabsorbed, it wasn't because I got to them too late. Like I probably am a little out of practice now because I love my ultrasound. It's fun. But no, I was, again, don't want to toot my own horn, but I was really good at it.
That's good. No, it's definitely a skill. You know, it's one that I have.
And it's one that I cannot stress enough to, like, honestly, I think it actually might be a better skill than having an ultrasound to use.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot stress enough. If
you don't have to plug that in.
What's that?
You don't have to plug that in. That talent. You just bring yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, if you have the time, and especially if you have a friend that has an ultrasound that can help you, like, confirm what you think you're feeling, it is invaluable. It is priceless. If you can learn how to palpate, even if you have an ultrasound, I recommend it. Like, it's great. It's great to know. Sometimes I ultrasound my girls and I can't see anything because they had a meal or they're starting to shed and they haven't shown signs, right? And I still palpate because the ultrasound can miss shit.
Yep.
Late last year, actually, you know how I told you I got the ultrasound late last year and didn't really start using it till this year? So I actually missed a girl late last year. Because I ultrasounded her when I first got the ultrasound, and I didn't see anything.
Oh,
so I didn't think to ultrasound her again. She was up here, maybe I don't know, one of the top rack bins. So I didn't really see her bull wrapping or anything. And then I opened up her tub one day, and she's like bull wrapping. I was like, oh shit. So because I was up on the ladder, I didn't want to pull the ultrasound down and pull her out. So I just pulled her out and I palpated her. And like, she had to be like 25 to 30 mil. And I was like, oh shit, she's gonna go. Like, this is amazing. Like, this happened out of nowhere. I'm so excited. So I threw a mail in. A month later, she was down to like 10.
Dang.
I missed her because I didn't realize that I either ultrasounded her either after she ate or at some stage of the shed cycle, because sometimes while they're in shed, you can still see some stuff, but sometimes it's just nothing, right? And that, like, had I just checked her after, because with all my females, even the small ones, if I don't see anything, like any follicles, because usually you'll at least see like tiny little specks, right? If I don't see anything, I'll still palpate, just in case.
Yeah, no, that's a good foolproof way to make sure you don't miss one, for sure. But yeah, no, it's been a good season, really. You know, sometimes you get, you know, clutch envy, and you're like, man, I wish I was a little bit further with some of the projects, but ultimately I'm super pleased with where we're at and the direction we're going in.
The thing is, if you look hard enough, there's always going to be somebody further along.
Always.
What you want to do or what you think you want to do.
Right.
Than you are. And there's always going to be a way to discourage yourself.
Yep.
That is what everybody needs to remember. If you look hard enough, you're always going to find a way to discourage yourself. But that just means you're looking for a way to discourage yourself. If you see some crazy shit with what you want to do, use it as inspiration. Don't use it as a reason to fucking lose your motivation to do something.
Preach, brother.
Man, dude, today, fucking Cora Glow Mojave Stranger Clown, right? Oof. Banana Blade Clown. Kept her specifically for my stranger. I wanted to be the first person to make a stranger banana clown. I'm not. That doesn't make me any like, I'm not upset about it. Now I want to be the first one to make a fucking banana leopard stranger clown. Fuck it.
There you go. There you go.
I'll just take it a step further, right? So
exactly.
There are days where it's hard to not get discouraged.
For sure. Can you hear my little guy crying in the background? Must be bedtime.
It sounded like a door opening. I didn't know what that was.
Yeah, no.
Like a creaking door.
I remember we started. I said we're probably going to get little man crying at some point.
It barely picked up.
Yeah, and we're in the middle of a full-fledged T-storm right now. So, yeah, he's throwing a full fit, but that's part of it.
We're going to go back a little bit, Rodney.
Yeah, for sure.
What made you realize you wanted to work with animals?
Oh, yeah. I talked about this a little bit on Billy's show. For me, animals have been a part of my life for its entirety, you know, whether it's catching critters outside, you know, just as a kid. But the thing that really inspired me is when I was in high school, you had to do the senior project to graduate at the school that I went to or whatever. And so my brother is actually, my younger brother of eight years, was having a pretty difficult time at school. And he was seeing like the counselor and there was a school psychologist. Well, the school psych actually at the school owned the zoo. And so what he did was animal therapy. And so he used to bring in like big Burmese and like all sorts of crazy stuff to teach the kid confidence and to work through anxiety and do all this stuff. And I decided to do my senior project with Dr. McDaniel. Like that was what my senior project was on. And so with that, I had to do 30 hours community service. And so I spent time at the zoo. I mean, this guy had a liger and a hyena and like he had lemurs. I was trying to find the pictures for something else that I have, like these lemurs are on my shoulders. And it was just a really crazy, cool experience where I seen two things I was very passionate about: helping people and animals merge together and it actually working. So I was like, oh, you can actually help people and you can still love animals and have animals. So he made it real for me. And then ever since then, it's been me and my brother's relationship building. Like, I mean, I'm in my 30s. So like there's Animal Planet was like brand new. Like before that was just Discovery Channel, right? There's like this YouTube concept didn't exist. Like if you were getting on the internet to download anything, it was like Napster for a song all day.
Yeah. You weren't going on Netflix and watching some fucking 8-part series on the rainforest or any
So
shit
yeah,
like
so
that.
we're watching Crocodile Hunter and Jeff Corwin and all these dudes catching mambas and all this stuff, and then
And you'd catch like the last 5 minutes of the show because you could never
Right.
remember when the fuck it was supposed to be on.
Right, TV guide, right.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was always an integral part of what we were doing. And slowly but surely, you know, we're building our little connection. You know, I had like a Savannah monitor and we had king snakes and just little stuff. And we're just growing and growing and growing. And then pretty soon, you know, I had to go to college, you know. And so as you guys have had all these transitions in your life, so did I, you know. And so then you have to rehome this or rehome that. What can I keep in this room? What can I keep here? But we always had something, you know. Oh, I think I can keep a couple Pac-Man frogs. You know, there's always something. But no, I just really loved animals, you know, from the jump, you know, whether it was just me catching, you know, salamanders and stuff in California and king snakes and things like that were wild caught, and or having the captive bred stuff that, you know, worked out or didn't work out. You know, we were learning. There wasn't a bunch of information out there. You know, so I think part of what made me so passionate to do Black Sun Reptiles the way that I did is, one, I learned a lot of lessons the hard way. But I had enough successes that kept me passionate about it. And so, and now we have all the access to the information and the animal. So my passion and access met, and here we are. So it's a big thunder.
That picked up. That was crazy.
Oh no, it's rocking, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah, this is a Midwest storm. Like we're underneath like a T-storm warning, and like, so wow. if I have to take shelter, no, I'm just kidding. No sirens yet. We're good.
So I just put two and two together. So if you're in California, do you talk to Cusco at all?
Yeah, I actually don't live in California. I live in Missouri. I'm in the middle of the United States.
Oh, okay.
So I played sports my whole life too. That's another thing about me that probably everybody knows that the snake world doesn't. But yeah, I was a baseball player, and so I got a baseball scholarship to come play in Missouri. And then after I graduated college and finished my baseball career, I ended up staying, and I started my life out here, which did two things for me. It gave me an opportunity to buy my own house, not at 40 years old like I would have in California. And it also gave me the opportunity to keep and start the animal stuff the way that I wanted to, since there's so many restrictions out west. But a lot of guys are doing this successfully.
So something I've never talked about on a live before is I used to be fucking amazing playing baseball.
Okay.
But there is not a lot of, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but there's not a lot of outreach here for baseball. No.
My roommates my freshman year, Chris, were three guys from Canada, Toronto and different places. And there's about 15 athletes from Canada at this little junior college in Ridgecrest, California, where Antoine's from. So my first college experience when I was 18 years old was where Antoine was from. And they had a little local pet store there. I say it every time. But anyways, I learned what ketchup chips were. I learned what Kraft dinner was. Like, Kayla just asked me earlier, why do you love Canadians so much? I was just like, I've just been exposed to their culture. They're just great people. They're kind. You know, I've been to Calgary.
Real Smarties?
What's that?
Did you ever get real Smarties?
I don't think I got the real Smarties, no.
Because the Americans call what we call Rocket Smarties.
Okay.
They're like chalk candy, right?
Right.
Up here, Smarties are chocolate covered, like bright. They're not that good, actually. I don't know why we care that much, but
right.
They're just like colorful chocolate covered, like almost like M&Ms, like similar. Anyway.
Yeah.
I loved playing baseball.
Yeah. That was my gateway to a lot of things, man. It taught me a lot of life skills and how to deal with people and adversity. And I coached for a long time. I still do, on and off. I coach multiple sports, but
honestly, if there was less complicated ways to pushing baseball into something real here, I feel like I probably could have. But yeah, unfortunately in Canada we have two pro teams.
Right. Well, you know what I found was
nobody cares. That's
there's
the problem.
So much talent up there. Like you said, Chris, so much talent that's untapped. So my roommates were so good with this much experience. Like they were at a college program and had very little experience with like bunting doing like the fundamental stuff. But once they caught on, they all went to like D1 schools after that. They were all out. They were all unreal, which was cool. But I see Mindy said she's in Missouri. I think, yeah, she's about an hour and a half, 2 hours east of me. I think it's coming from Southwest, Mindy, so it might miss you. But yeah, it's definitely here.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Oh, show it to Mindy, Timeless Morphs.
Yeah,
please don't get caught in the crazy storm.
Yeah, she's a person that's always showing us love on IG. So I appreciate that. I never had a chance to really talk to you about that. Thank you.
No, it's you know what, the both of them they're amazing. They're all over the place. They're showing everybody love. It's so nice.
That is cool.
It's super cool to see all these people that all they want to do is just, you know, share the love and support people. It's so cool. It gets me way more pumped than I probably should be on a video. So I'm trying to tone it down. Anyway, I had this question up earlier and we didn't get to it. From Nicole, Canadian Regis. If you could pick what ball pythons ate instead of rodents, would you change their diet? If so, to what and why?
Oh, man. Yeah, that's a great question. It would have to be anything you could get at your local supermarket. But I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is greens because I'm already, feeding the bearded dragon. So I just throw a few extra greens.
I was going to say the same thing. I'm already buying them for my tortoise.
It would have to be greens.
Throw some fucking romaine lettuce in with my ball python and they're good for the week.
That's a no-brainer. You don't have to cook it, anything. Rinse it off, chop it up, and throw it in there. That would be phenomenal. So yes, I would turn all my ball pythons into vegan animals.
Cuddle Time Critters wants to know where in Missouri. They're in Independence.
Yeah, we're in central Missouri, so a little bit below Columbia. So where the University of Missouri is. So I'm not too far from a lot of you guys.
What's up, Mandy?
What's that?
Oh, Next Morph Reptiles. Mandy jumped into the chat. Anyway, so we talked about what made you realize you wanted to work with animals. Mm-hmm. How and when did you actually get into this part of the hobby, the ball pythons? Like what was the driving force and when? Yeah,
it's probably about 4 years ago, maybe 5, when we first started acquiring animals as a keeper. I think we produced our first animals 3 to 4 years ago. But yeah, there was a double season there where I hatched a few different clutches, so it gets a little cloudy. But yeah, so it wasn't too long ago in terms of making it into what it is now. And I always had aspirations going back to the 3 to 5 years to doing something with it in terms of one, educational purposes. I work in an education system already, so I do show and tells like with kids. There's a local breeder down in Jeff City, which is the capital, that used to own a store in Fulton. He's always vending at Tinley, just a great guy. But he used to come and do show and tells at a juvenile facility that I ran. And so he brought in crazy animals. And I've just had lots of exposure to people that were passionate about bridging the gap, like teaching kids not to be fearful. Like a lot of the work that Cusco does and a lot of the work that Brian Gundy does, like I've been exposed to a lot of those types of individuals, and that really painted a positive picture for me. So it was a no-brainer that I wanted to pay that forward. And so when time and opportunity and access all came together 4 years ago-ish, and my daughter, she's another driving force for BSR. As soon as she's been around animals her whole life. And so she's the one telling me at 3 years old and 4 years old that we need to start a YouTube. And I'm like, yeah, right. But now here we are, with the YouTube. So she's been a driving force, but like Miguel, his daughter was the driving force, and then she abandoned that. They got old real quick. Maddie, our daughter, she's into it still, but not at the rate that we are, like as breeders and keepers, she's loves her animals, but oftentimes she's missing clean days too. So
Nicole is killing it with the questions tonight.
She's a beast.
We're going with another Nicole question. What has been your most memorable clutch?
Man, it's still cooking, Nicole. She didn't ask which one was hatched. I'm really excited about this.
If it's memorable because it's eggs, that's okay.
Yeah, no,
that's not a very exciting answer, though.
Yeah, I have a killer highway pied to a highway het pied.
Whoa, hold on. Killer highway pied to a what?
To a highway het pied.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those hatching. I really want to see.
So you could potentially hit pastel super gravel pieds.
Yeah.
Hot damn, that's a sick clutch. Yeah. I can see why that would be topping your list, even if they haven't come out yet.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
That's at the very tippity top. So other than that, just a lot of working through stuff. I have a ghost pied female is the one that I didn't think was going to go. And so
ghost pied?
Yeah.
I have a visual double recessive female. I didn't think she was going to go, but no biggie. She is.
We got some stuff.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, I really want to, this banana pied that I showed you guys the babies of this week. He really produces some nice animals. And the girl that I bred him to this year, I really just even made them better, which was crazy. But he is 100% het ghost, and I haven't ever proved him. So I know I have customers, I have folks that have these animals out there, and I really want to let them know that they might have a 50%, het ghost, but they kind of know. But and so that's where I'm waiting for this girl to go. Because I want to prove the ghost in him, which would be nice. But so I would say that the one that hasn't hatched is always going to be the one that you look forward to. In terms of memorable, it would be my first pied clutch, which was one of the first clutches, if not the first that we hatch. Always to see a pod come out of the egg and you did it and you made it is just a memory that I will never forget in my life. So
me too, because it was 3 months ago.
Right. Yeah, it's been some time now. But yeah, I would say the first clutch, beautiful.
That was my first pied. It came out in March.
What else is in it, Chris? Banana and
this
what?
is banana, het red.
Okay.
Possibly OD, YB, Enchi. And I just cleaned your tub and you pain in the ass.
That never ends, so.
Yeah, I know. So as much as I love hatching clowns, I'm going to completely agree with you because hatching pieds is awesome.
It's always a mystery how much pattern.
There's something about it though. Like the only thing that I'll say beats hatching pieds is hatching visual desert ghosts / enhancers.
Yes. Yeah.
Because we got a clutch last year. It was a head-to-head, so we only expected a couple of animals. So when we cut the clutch, we were going through it like, okay, that can't be Desert Ghost. Mm-hmm. Like, it must just be really bright. Oh, that can't be Desert Ghost. And then we realized it all was. We got like 5 out of 7 animals that were visuals. And to see the progression from when you cut the egg,
those sheds,
to like a month past first shed, that like if you took a picture of both, you wouldn't believe they're the same animal.
It's night and day.
Crazy.
It's night and day.
I love it.
Yeah. No, I am looking forward. I am looking forward to clown clutches. I'll be excited about those. We got some het girls and a visual girl growing up now, and that'll be fun. But like I said, in terms of memories to produce pieds, from a het pied, even so, any of that stuff is cool. So
what? Most of these comment questions I usually answer too. So
yeah,
I'm going to say my DG clutch anyway from last year because I've hatched clowns, I've hatched pieds now. They're the feeling of that DG clutch, watching them crawl out of the egg, shed, take that first meal, and then like the color up process from that first meal to like their 1 month of life. It's unlike anything I've ever had in this hobby before.
Yeah.
Because they change so much, even just day to day. Like, even
That's
just opening the bin up the next morning. Right. It's insane. So I'm going to say my DG clutch with what was supposed to be a very boring clutch last year. My yellow belly pied het lab to my fire. I was just trying to make some fire yellow belly het pies to hold back. I don't know. Do I show her off?
Go for it. I'm going to take a...
Have you seen this animal personally?
I don't believe so.
This girl, fire yellow belly, Het pied pos hat lavender.
Wow. Nice
So like,
ringer.
look at the pattern on her.
Beautiful.
So the reason why this clutch is memorable is it helped us realize that there's a gene that Billy has in his collection,
Mm-hmm.
and the male that we have has that gene.
Oh, cool.
And we're still trying to figure it out, so we don't have it labeled as such. But yeah, we cut that clutch and we thought we hit our first pied off an animal that shouldn't have been het pied because of how crazy that pattern was in the egg.
Looks, and the belly's very white.
That
cool.
That animal I just showed you too, only 11 months old.
Wow, it's huge.
Yeah, all of my 2020 stuff, except for one fucking ivory het pied posset lav, he's growing like crazy. They're all doing so well. I'm so happy. Rainy day reptiles. How long do you leave a clutch in the incubator before you burp the egg container, if at all? Personally, I don't burp. I will check on my eggs at about 30 days just to make sure there's nothing terribly wrong going on. And when I say check on them, I'll pull the whole bin out, open it, sort of quickly inspect the eggs. I won't like pull the eggs out or anything, but like quickly inspect them and then put them back. I don't use press and seal or anything. So I assume Rodney has gone to the bathroom. Anyway, yes, I do not. I don't burp my tubs, but I do check on them periodically. So I do that at about 30 to 35 days. And then I think around day 50, I start checking on them. Day 50, if I make it to day 52 before cutting, I'll usually open the tub just to double check. But yeah, I mean, I don't use press and seal though, so my egg containers aren't completely sealed. In some of the containers that I'm having a bit of humidity issues with, I use regular plastic wrap, but I don't use press and seal, so it's not completely containing. So I honestly don't think I need to burp them at all. And genuinely, I mean, even if you use press and seal, I don't think they need to be burped unless you're sitting at 100% humidity the entire time. I think they're fine.
Yeah. The one caveat is make sure you have a pinhole.
I think, honestly, unless you're sitting at 100%, even without a pinhole, I think you're still fine.
I've done both the past few years. I've opened some and then I've not. And both of them have made it. I haven't had any mold out on me because of drippage, but I could see where that could be an issue if you're not. I think the key thing that Chris said is make sure you're paying attention. So,
yeah, pay attention. Like when I say that I pull the clutch out at day 30 to check on the eggs, I'm still checking in my incubator daily. Like I'm still like from the outside taking a really quick look into my egg tubs. Make sure your egg tubs, first of all, are opaque so you can see inside without it disturbing them. And second of all, like even if like mine's on the ground in my closet, it is a pain in the ass for me to see inside some of my tubs. I still make sure I look inside them. Just take a peek. And it doesn't have to be every day. Nobody's asking for it to be every day. Look in it once a week, once every 10 days. Like it doesn't hurt. And if you can pull a molding egg aside, and the mold doesn't necessarily kill an egg, but if you can pull a molding egg aside because you're keeping an eye on it and you potentially save another egg, amazing.
Yeah.
It happens. But realistically, at the end of the day, a molding egg won't kill another egg unless that egg was going to die anyway. Because
Justin just said that.
What's that?
Justin just went on record and said that. Just, I think today or yesterday in one of his vlogs.
Yeah. So here, the thing is, mold does not attack living matter. It doesn't. I literally was certified in mold remediation and removal. I used to do that for a living.
Yeah.
Mold grows on dying matter. Now, does that mean a molding egg is a write-off? No. It means that the actual egg itself isn't living up to exactly what it should be doing for the entire gestation of the animal.
Right.
And if you treat it, the animal inside can still live, but it just means the eggshell, some part of the system hasn't gone quite right. Right.
Yeah. I just posted a video on that too, Chris, by the way. Like the eggs that had weak veins went bad. The ones that were good, that were living, didn't. Same box, same everything. It was disgusting. It reeked. But yeah,
I have a clutch. That we're cutting Sunday. That ivory to the Leo DG have pied. Up until 2 days ago, I had an egg that had weak veins. It was 9 eggs. I had an egg with weak veins in there the entire time. I knew it wasn't going to make it.
Right.
And it started to die right away, but it was a very slow death. Like I was like, oh, I can treat this with foot powder. Oh, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like I knew pretty early on it was done. I was just trying to save it anyway. And I left it in there until a couple days ago. And we're on day 51 now. So I want to say day 48. Pulled that egg out at day 48, checked it, like felt it completely hard all the way through, not. So I got rid of it then. Guess what? It was stuck to 3 or 4. It was 4. It was stuck to 4 other eggs.
All good.
They have mold on them because of the direct contact, but the mold is not growing on them. Getting mold on another egg because of direct contact is not the same as mold growing on your egg. Just so people know.
That's good info.
Anyway, there was another question, and I got very into that one.
Coming, you guys.
Here we go. Sal.
Wow,
Spot nose or blackhead?
Biggest comeback? Well, when you're talking about DG, I'd say pastel. But
see, the thing is, I don't think pastel ever went away. I think pastel was sort of like, I think it was undervalued for a long time.
Right.
But I think it was always there. Blackhead and spot nose for about 10 years were like, oh, these are nothing. And thrown
that's
out.
True. That's true. What's another good one? I mean, G-stripe, too, for you recessive fans. A lot of people are.
Don't talk about G-stripe on my show. What are you doing?
Yeah, a lot of guys are liking. I don't have any, to be honest. So
I only have one, and it's only because a friend of ours offered us a G-stripe, a pastel hypo G-stripe female for a price we could not pass up, and because it was a double recessive, we
I love striped animals. I mean, I have a lilac striped animal. I have super striped stuff. So,
see, I like super stripe a lot more than G stripe. My problem with G stripe is the pattern is what brings me to the animal. Super stripes generally still have the side pattern. Like they have a lot more going on. But I will admit that the G stripe clown stuff has started to get me interested. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna like start working on it or am that into it, but we do have plans to put a stranger clown to that hypo G stripe.
There you go.
It's more so for the stranger hypo clown though, because we're already working with that, and the G stripe will kind of be there. But anyway,
if Shane shows up in the comments all of a sudden, we know why. So somebody say G stripe clown.
Or Brian Carter. That dude loves to give me shit for hating on G stripe. No, but G stripe is coming back. Like G stripe really died for a long time, and its value is really coming back. Like DG tanked forever.
That's another one, right?
And like in the past, I want to say 18 months. If you go and look at the value from say 2017 till now for similar animals that are visual DGs.
Insanity.
Oh my God, man. It's crazy. I love it. I love seeing it though. It just means this hobby is so much stronger than it was.
It also gives a lot of people hope not to give up on projects, you know. So
100%, yeah. And sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Yeah.
I had that thought a while ago, and I sort of kept going on another front, but the big thing is it's making people realize that if their first breeding with something isn't amazing, it doesn't mean your fucking project's dead.
Right.
Like, put it to fucking hypo. That's not good. Put it to fucking pied. That's not good. Put it to clown. Like it can blow up still. And because of that, we've seen a lot of people that have been working with dinkers for 10 years and go, guys, look what the fuck I just made.
Right.
And they've not made anything outstanding up till now, but because they've been given that sort of rejuvenation and that hope, they're putting it into everything, and they're coming out with some crazy shit.
Important.
Oh man, have you seen the Cosmos stuff?
I don't think so. No.
Oh my god, look it up. The Cosmos stuff is amazing, and I'm not saying that that's one of those genes. I think Cosmos is just amazing.
Yeah.
It might not be, but
that's cool.
Just
Nicole has another great question.
I saw that.
I know that one for me right off the bat. I would take away the wobble because I love spider. I love spider. It is an insane single gene animal that revolutionized things. You know, I got my Kevin McCurley book sitting over here. I would take away the wobble. I think spiders are incredible animals, and I wish they didn't have that issue.
So because you answered spider, I'm going to change my answer. Only because my answer would have been spider.
Right.
I fucking love spider.
Yeah.
I don't care what people say about it.
Right.
I'll always fucking love it.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I love it. I love it. I think spider is amazing. I think it does amazing things. And I think without the wobble, spider would still be one of the like top most sought after morphs.
Yeah.
Like the combos it can make and the combos it's still making. I don't care. But
it does two things that people look for in everything. You know, it's a pattern changer and a color changer. It does both very well. And
did you ever see a monsoon?
A spider monsoon?
No, the monsoon.
No, what is it?
The fake monsoon. I'll send you a picture after because I don't want to pull her out right now. But
gotcha.
We had a pastel lesser leopard spider, double het clown pied, 50% het hypo last year.
Oh, and he called it the monsoon.
We called it the monsoon because the pattern looked like a monsoon.
That's hilarious.
No, it's just such an amazing animal, and people are like, oh, but it has spider. Like, fuck you! I don't care if that has spider. I'm happy it has spider.
I mean, the problem, the thing with the wobble too is, you know, it's just so unpredictable. You know, we haven't deemed it as showing up. And, you know, you could have a wobbly animal that reproduces, and none of those babies have it, or you can have one that doesn't, and it does. I mean, the issue is it's not predictable. You know, so
what's funny is I actually have a big one of my only I kept 3 animals from when I got out to when I got back in. 3 animals as pets, 3 snakes. One of them was a huge spider female. Her name is Snooky.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I got her, Jersey Shore was a thing, and her wobble is bad, right? So when I got back in, I bred her. I bred her to a banana pastel butter pinstripe. I want to say 7 out of 8 of those animals had spider in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in contact with everybody that bought the offspring from that clutch. Just based on like very, very good luck.
Right.
Not a single one of them, and this is going on 20 months later, even the slightest sign of wobble.
And good eating, probably.
Amazing eaters.
Yeah.
No sign of wobble, like growing like crazy. But she literally can't hold her head up straight. She's also an amazing eater.
Yep.
Like it's just crazy.
But
I did answer the question. I would say caramel, only because, or caramel
a genetic flaw.
No, you know what? I'm going to say desert only because caramel has ultramel right now. I'm going to say desert because I think desert could have been a huge game changer.
Yeah, I agree with David. He threw that out there. Yep. That was a powerful gene too.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like desert was like a combo of Desert Ghost and Krypton. Like not quite as strong color change as Desert Ghost and not quite as powerful pattern changes like Cryptic, but like a real fucking nice in between that could have done so much for the hobby. Like, could you imagine if Desert was viable where we be right now?
Right. Where do you think Clown would be if all these powerhouses kept their prestige?
Oh my
Do you
god!
think it'd still be what it is now? Because I feel
Are
like
you talking about all of it? Like
with
Spider never got
Spider,
shit
no
on,
wobble.
Desert never got shit on, Caramel never. Oh my god!
It wouldn't be as high, right?
No, I honestly think it would be higher because right now we would have like desert. This is going to be very confusing. But we'd have like desert ghost clown combos. Like, could you imagine how fucking bright that would be?
Yeah.
How ridiculous it would be? Oh my god! Like, man, when I think about all the stuff we missed out on because of genes that just weren't viable to breed, it hurts.
Yeah. Stop thinking about
some cool
Stop
shit
thinking about it.
There's some cool shit out there.
That's self-induced pain.
All right. I'm going to take this one question from David. Then I have 2 more questions for you.
All right.
And then we're going to wrap this up because we're closing in on 2 hours very fast.
Sounds good, my man. I'm going to refill this. I can hear you, though.
Cool. What gene do you think people sleep on way too much? Since Rodney stepped away, I will answer this. I think it is pinstripe. I think there is not a single recessive gene right now that pinstripe does not work amazingly with. Pinstripe pieds, unreal. Pinstripe clowns, unreal. Pinstripe desert ghost, unreal. Hypo, great. Like, I can't think of a recessive it doesn't work with. Even albino, lavender albino, like pinstripe works amazing with all of them. And I think people need to see the potential in it, especially in clown. I feel like people have really overlooked what pinstripe can do in clown. And I think in the next couple of years, because people are starting to realize what it can do, there's going to be a lot of changed minds.
Dude, I just cut a pinstripe clutch the other day. And I'll post them here in the next few days once they crawl out. It's insanity. And it's just codoms. It's insanity. I think there's like a super pastel inchy lesser pin in there.
When you combine inchy lesser and pinstripe together,
dude, it's
so nice.
When I seen those eggs, I was like, whoa. I mean, and the variations of them all, and I don't know, it's a powerful gene too. I do think people sleep on pinstripe.
So David's saying biggest sleeper gene for me is KRG. Now, I don't think KRG is a sleeper. I think KRG just hasn't been advertised the right way quite yet.
I agree.
I don't think you can say people are sleeping on something if they don't know about it yet. Everybody knows about pinstripe, and not everybody overlooks it, but like a lot of people overlook pinstripe. Now, that said, I think KRG is going to be huge. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know too much about it. If you want to elaborate, or if David...
Honestly, I don't even know too much about it. I've just seen a lot of people that I respect a lot working with it and posting stuff, and just what I've seen, like, for what it should be without the KRG.
What's it stand for? Is it Calabasas reduction gene? Or what is it?
Reduction gene, yes.
Okay.
So I saw a few at Tinley 2019.
Okay.
And then I've seen people post since then, and just what it should look like versus what KRG seems to be doing to some of these combos. Just over the top. Like, it's just unreal. Amazing. Cool.
Yeah, I've crossed a few animals just looking what was available. And I've seen some KRG out, and I was like, oh, I've actually heard David talking about it before, and a few other guys. So
yeah, no, and honestly, like for 2022, I think KRG is one of the genes I want to work on getting up here. Like, if I can get a KRG combo hep clown female in my rack, like I'm not gonna put every egg in that basket, only because I'm a very reserved person. But if I could get a female or two up here in my rack in recessive that I'm already working with, done. Like, I'm not even questioning it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the last 2 questions.
Cool.
What was your first big disappointment or letdown?
Yeah, we could probably go all the way back to like 1998, 99. I had my first ball python, and I could never get it to eat, and I had to get rid of it. And that started me off on the wrong foot with ball pythons. it was probably a wild caught animal and I wasn't keeping it right. And I was young. And so I always had in the back of my head that I'm going to learn how to keep these animals. And when I got back into keeping animals at the rate that I am now, information was endless. I'm like, wow, this looks a little bit different than when I did it, 15, 20 years ago. So feeding animals, just educating myself on the different types of rodents and feeding practices and husbandry techniques really helped me build confidence in keeping.
Rodney, do you mind giving me 1 second? There's a really loud noise coming from my living room, and I don't know what's going on. If you wanna continue,
yep, I'll talk through it.
Anyway, give me 1 second.
We're good, but yeah, so that was a big letdown. But one of my mentors, speaks to me often, and he made a statement to me. He said, when you have livestock, you're going to have dead stock. And I think that is very important to realize. Like, clutches are going to go bad. Animals are going to die. We're taking animals and reproducing them at a rate that we've never done it before. With human beings, if you take 100 moms and you don't even bring them to the hospital and they just have to give birth, there's going to be complications, right? Same thing with ball pythons. There's thousands of animals are being reproduced. There's going to be complications. And so there's going to be letdowns. You got to prepare yourself for it and just have the right approach, going into it. What type of person are you when there is adversity, when there are challenges, and if you know that you're sensitive or that you're dealing with, certain circumstances in a way that's not conducive for you to breed effectively moving forward, then maybe you should make some adjustments. So I'm constantly working on that and surrounding myself around people, that have taken big blows or that are positive people to kind of counteract both, right? Because I think a lot of individuals who talk about positivity or hear when people are talking about being positive is that it's the absence of negative, and it's actually not. It's actually the introduction of positive methods during negative or challenging circumstances, and that's important. So just know, do the best you can with your husbandry, do the best you can with your practices, be a part of your local community or your Discord community or whoever it is that you associate with, and have conversations with people that you can be candid with, because there's going to be complications. You're dealing with animals at a large rate if you're a breeder. And so build the confidence to have difficult conversations, period. And know the right people that will be candid with you and help you through that. Because it's going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's like riding a motorcycle, right? It's just not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And so we have a nice network of people locally that we associate with and that we've met all over the world. And, I think with that balance, it's really helped us become the breeders that we are now and the keepers that we are now. And so I would encourage you guys to do that. A lot of people think that it's taboo to talk about illness or dead animals or what have you. You have to work through that. You have to. And so build that community, build those people you can lean on, and have those conversations. Not to say that it's going to be easy the first few times for you to have those conversations or to deal with the circumstance. But if you know that about yourself, be prepared. But that's my 2 cents on disappointments and letdowns. Just reframe them into learning opportunities and growth, because from those animals that we've dealt with that maybe didn't work out in the manner that we anticipated, we've made beautiful, just insane other animals. And so focus on the things that you want to achieve and keep your mindset healthy. Like Chris was talking about, it's okay to take a little breather sometimes. It's okay to take a break. I know lots of guys that I have a lot of respect for that are just like, you know what, I got to take a break from this IG stuff for a little bit. Or I need to take a break from this social media stuff for a little bit. Give yourself permission to do that. It's important, because we want to see you guys around. I want this community to be selfishly, as fruitful and promising as it has been for the past, handful of years that I've been a part of it, moving forward, and if not better. And so that's going to take people taking care of themselves, because I've seen it already. Lots of people that aren't here with us anymore, community wise, because they had a hard time with that balance. So that's my 2 cents on that down.
The last thing we want to is to, and this is going to sound selfish and it's kind of meant to, but we also don't want to commit ourselves to people that aren't going to be in this in a while. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a friendship way. Like, I have people that have gotten out that I'm still friends with.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Like, I make real friends from this hobby. And when I say real friends, I'm not saying friends from the hobby aren't real. I'm just saying I'll talk to them about things well beyond the hobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk to them about personal issues and stuff like that. But the people that you meet in this, if they don't want you to succeed, if they don't want to see you do well, if they don't want to see you hatch some amazing shit, if they don't want to see that, they're not your friends. Like,
just move on.
yeah. Move past them. Like,
next.
we've talked about Sal a couple times now, but like, I'm pretty sure he has his first clutch coming up anytime now. I'm fucking waiting with bated breath for that dude. Like, I can't wait. It's the best feeling in the world is seeing those babies crawl out, and then that first shed, and then that first meal. Like, it's such a good feeling.
Right. Especially for somebody, you know, who's put so much time, effort, and energy into it. You know, it's just that much more impressive. Like, man,
100%.
Yeah. Like, and I know that he's not just walking 10 steps to his collection. Like, he's got to, you know, go to a different location, and like that takes dedication. I mean, that is impressive.
100%. I'm going to be in that boat soon. I got to move all my stuff over to Nick's. Nick is 50 minutes away from me, like I said before. So that'll be, I'll be there 4 to 5 to 6 days a week.
Lots of highly successful breeders in this industry that have collections far away from where they live.
Most of the successful people know how to disassociate their collection with their personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as it sucks for me to think about not being able to wake up and come in and check on all my animals, I think it's going to be good.
For sure. No, it's exciting. New beginnings are good.
Here is my favorite question to ask people. It's one of my new questions. If you could remove one gene from the entire hobby, just gone, what would it be? And would your answer change if it was only restricted to the collection that you have?
Would I get rid of something that I either have or don't have, essentially, is what that's asking.
Or you could get rid of a gene that you don't even own just to fuck with people because you're a dick. Because I said
right. Man, I'm such an inclusionist. This is going against my grain. What to take away?
Is there anything that you think you would benefit from with removal?
Man, I think just kind of in line. Man, I know a lot of guys are already doing this, but kind of in line with what we said. Any of these animals that have the genetic issues, you know, and then that takes away Spider, to be completely honest. But I think in terms of ethics, you know, and as a breeder, having proper ethics, you're going to want to target those animals that may or may not be reproducible in a healthy manner. And so, yeah, I would say kind of the ones that we've already have, you know, desert, Spider. But just in terms of like grinding the gears, that things, let's see. Do
you want me to give you my first answer to this, just so you know how okay it is to be petty here if you want?
I have one too, but yeah, go ahead.
So the first of all, this is a personal thing, but also just because I find it funny, my first answer was lesser.
Oh, I was going to say something out of the Bell complex, because you can get a lot of it with something else.
So my reasoning for it is, first of all, I have way too much of it in my own collection. Mm-hmm. So selfishly, I would want it gone only because having as much as I do based on my early pairings and the stuff I've held back is really going to limit my future, because I don't want to hit bells on a lot of those, right?
Yeah.
So to get rid of it all would kind of suck, because a lot of my snakes would be down a gene, but it would also stop limiting those pairings. Now, the petty part is, I would love for all the people that own bells out there to wake up one day and their snake just be normal. As much as that sucks, I think that would be so fucking funny.
Callie said clown, Chris. I was rolling. I was like, yeah, right.
Kelly's out of the Discord.
That's it. Uh-oh. Lifetime ban. That's funny. But yeah, no.
But honestly, like, there's so many things in the Bell complex. I really think that one could be easily removed, and it not affect much. Like, if I could switch all my lesser with, say, Mojave, all my lesser with even bamboo, and I'm not the biggest bamboo fan, I would in a heartbeat. Like, I wouldn't even question it because I feel like lesser alone is super limiting.
Yeah, there's some great combos. Especially lesser clown stuff is pretty cool.
But the thing is about lesser clowns, you can make it with other things, and it's even cooler. A bamboo clown is a lesser clown, but better.
Gotcha.
A mystic clown is a lesser clown, but better. Like,
I ran into the same issue as you, and when I was talking about being more efficient, it's limiting some of these pathways to dead ends as well, right? So we have a lot of Bell stuff. I love contrast. So what does the Bell stuff do? It gives you contrast. And so early on, we have a lot of that type of stuff. Mojave, I have Mystic.
Let's see if she picks up.
Pattern's cool.
This wouldn't look the same without lesser, for sure.
What else is in it? Leopard or no?
This is the Moxoon, actually.
Oh, okay.
So this is the pastel lesser leopard spider.
It's crazy.
So without lesser, this animal would look completely different.
For sure.
It would just be a leopard bumblebee, right?
Well, yeah, and this is just for, kicks and giggles. So
yeah, it would suck though, because when I say a lot of my collection has lesser in it, a lot of my collection has lesser in it.
I mean, it's a cool gene. So, historically, I mean, think what Ralph Davis. I'm not for sure, but yeah, I mean, he's anything coming from that guy, is pretty cool. So,
no, you're not wrong.
I could say Bell. Something from the Bell because I could replace it. I would, I'd say Mystic because I'll do Mojave or Mojave Mystic. I don't know, something like that. But
so, can we all just block Kathleen from Melusine Exotics for thinking that Mojave, Mystic, and Phantom are all the same?
They're definitely not. I hatched a bunch of Phantom stuff this year. I could tell you that it's definitely not the same.
A Phantom Clown and a Mystic Clown don't look anything alike.
Yeah.
I feel like Lesser/Butter is the ugly stepchild of the Bell complex and can be axed. I think everything else does have a place because it does do some really unique, cool stuff.
Here's one that's not talked about much. What about Russo?
So I like Russo for its ability to act like a Bell and not do anything, if that makes sense. Now I feel like getting rid of Russo wouldn't change many people's collections unless anybody has a Bell made from a Russo.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know enough about it, but from what I've seen, like Russos are just kind of meh.
I think there's guys starting to work on it a lot more now, but yeah, we haven't seen much. I've seen lots of guys are taking it to clown and doing cool stuff with that. Imagine that. But
a lot of the lesser touched Bell complex stuff is finally being put into clown, like Phantom, and all of a sudden it's like,
yeah, Phantom looks good in a lot of stuff. Those are some of the first clutches that I produced that I gotta finish IDing and see what I'm gonna keep. But Phantom is solid. We made some. I just got our first potions too. Speaking of,
oh shit, nice.
Yeah, they're sick with the bright yellow stripe. The issue is I don't know if they have cypress in them or not, so might have to hang on to them.
I was gonna say, so for a potion, I feel like if you wait, how long ago did they hatch?
Not too long. Like I don't even have them put up yet, so they're just freshly.
What, like a couple months, like within the
No. Like still in the egg box, dude. Like just crawled out.
Oh shit. Okay, so once they shed out and have a couple, I feel like once they hit their second shed, you'll have a really good understanding of the cypress because the potions they're very
translucent.
Yes, sorry, but they're very Jesus. They're very affected by other genes.
Okay.
Even if it's slight, you know what I mean? Even if you got a fucking pastel potion, like it might come out of the egg looking like a potion, but after the first shed,
You'll see
3-4 meals, it starts coming in. So honestly, like if you have potions with bright fucking yellow dorsals too, that sounds pretty fucking.
I do.
That sounds pretty good to me. I haven't seen
all
a
of them
come out of the egg with that. So
I just popped the 2 because they're in 2 separate egg boxes. So I just popped the 2 and it's 1.1, which is cool. So
hey, fuck, you got a female out of it. That's amazing. You have a fucking cypress potion? Come on.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick. This year we bred a lot of cypress, so I'm looking forward to that. Some of the cypress stuff that we produced was outrageous, man. I mean, I
have no cypress,
dude. Well, I have some for you. Don't worry. There's actually another clutch cooking too. But yeah,
we don't have a single cypress animal actually.
Dude, cypress with clown is whew.
I know. So I don't know if you watch a lot of our stuff, but one of our closest, I want to say like partners, like people we work with a lot, is Mordex ball pythons.
Yeah.
Right? Michelle and Paul. Yep. They live about 2.5 hours away from us, so we try to visit them a few times a year.
That's cool.
And they have a leopard cypress clown female.
Jesus.
And it's got to be like an adult too. And it's got to be one of the nicest clowns I've ever seen.
I don't know what it's doing to make these combos like HD, but it's doing, I don't know. It's insane. And then the one animal that I made, I'm pretty sure that it's pastel or super pastel yellow belly pastave yellow belly cypress.
Oh damn!
It's a silver animal I posted. It's insane. Like in real life, it's because the first one that crawled out of the egg, I was like, whoa. And then the next one was even more reduced, and everything was up top on the dorsal, and it looked like melting. I was like, what is happening? So I don't even think that we've even opened any of the avenues that Cypress is going to be able to.
From what I've seen from Cypress, and what I've seen is only very limited. Man, I think the possibilities for Cypress are endless. Like, yeah.
I'm very motivated after I hatched these animals. I was like, if it could do that with these basic genes, like wait till it's going to be insane. And that's not even a recessive combo.
All right, man. Well, we've easily broke 2 hours here.
Good work.
Damn, I'm out of questions. So
yeah, I mean, it's up to you. You probably have business on a Friday, but I'm here if you need me.
It's more so I just need to sleep because I've only slept 3 hours. I told you before we went live. But you know what? We'll go for another 5 minutes. I'm going to let people have a chance to drop any last questions in the chat here. This has been fucking awesome.
Sure.
I appreciate you sticking with me this long.
Yeah, brother. For sure.
Well, this is great. This is really the first time you and I even really talked. Besides the odd Instagram DM or react to a story or whatever.
Definitely.
So, yeah, no, this has been great, man. I am very, very happy that you came on. Thank you so much. This has been great.
Definitely. No, when you're planful around things, it usually works out better. You know, I think both of us had things going on and we came to a perfect plan and schedule. And so I opened up my schedule. I was like, yep, I got Chris on Friday. So that's what it is. So everything kind of came together.
And what's really funny is when I scheduled you too, I was going through some personal shit. Yeah. And I was like, I want to schedule you out far enough that I think I'll be
in the clear.
Good to do this because I don't want to schedule you only to have to reschedule.
Right.
And it just worked out. Like I didn't have the best week, but it was still enough that I wanted to come on here and I wanted to chat, and this ended up being amazing. This is such a good fucking show.
Yeah, I agree. So, hey, big shout out to Tyler too. I don't know if he made it, but he reached out to me too.
No, fuck that guy. No, I'm joking. Tyler, Reptiles. Yeah. Go give Tyler a follow. Tyler's a fucking solid dude. I think I'm seeing him on Sunday.
Good.
Yeah, Billy's place. I think I'm seeing Tyler on Sunday. He's a fucking great dude. Oh, and Melusine Exotics. So, myself, Mordax, and Stellar Serpens sort of pulled a little gag on Melusine. She was getting sent a super fire female.
Okay.
And Mordex, my lovely friends Michelle and Paul, gifted her daughter, Scarlett, a pastel freeway 66% het G-stripe male.
Oh, that's incredible.
And they didn't know it was coming.
Oh, my daughter would just freak out. I bet you she's
So
that.
we made them do the box opening live on Instagram. Guys, if you haven't seen it yet, please do. It's amazing. Kathleen cries a whole bunch. It's hilarious.
That's cool.
But no, honestly, go check it out. It was so fun. It was so fun to be a part of. I love doing shit like that.
That's good stuff.
I wish I could do it more. Unfortunately, I'm not rich, not yet. But
5-year plan.
right? No. But when we can, we try to. At Christmas, we gave away a banana. What was it? Banana pastel asphalt male.
That's sick.
On Christmas Day. Yeah. So, I mean, we try. Like when we can, we try. I love giving back to this community. It's been so great to so many people, right? So,
definitely. Any last questions?
I'm waiting. I'm not seeing any.
No, they're dying off, huh? They ran out of steam.
It is what it is, though, man. Again, I guess we'll just wrap up here. I appreciate your time so much. Thank you for hanging out.
Yeah, it's been good.
Fucking great time. Well, you know what? I'm definitely going to have you back on.
For sure.
You were requested by quite a few people before Tyler even, brought you to my attention. As a guest to come on is what I mean. And dude, this has been great. Like it's
for sure. Well, now we cracked the seal so we can get into the nuts and bolts next time. But I had a blast and I appreciate the invite, Chris. So hopefully some of the things we talked about today we can put into action and keep things moving in the right direction.
Yeah, man. No, and I can't say it enough. I appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. And like I said, you will be back. This isn't a one-time thing, guys. So if for some reason anybody is watching this after the fact and are upset that they missed a chance to ask a question or whatever the fuck, just send me a message on Instagram. I'll throw it in the log for next time. And this isn't the last time Rodney and I will be on screen together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you guys have anything that comes up, I'm on IG at Black Sun Reptiles. So, and then a little bit of content on YouTube. So that's growing. You got to start somewhere. I
was just going to ask if there's anything you wanted to plug, but you did it on your own.
There it is. That's it.
Oh, you know what? Quick last question before we shut this down. How long does it take first shed out of the egg?
What do you think, Chris? About a week?
It's a little over a week. So what I think it's from my experience anywhere from 10 to 12 days. Yeah. Because usually it takes them a couple days to start the shed process and then they go into the week process.
True. Yep.
So they technically start the shed process the day they crawl out.
Exactly.
But it does actually take them a couple days. You can see it. Their entire body will go red. It's the most obvious shed that animal will ever have.
Yep.
Ever. Their belly will be bright red. If there's any white on the animal at all, it'll be fucking pink as fuck.
That's another tip too, is if you're going to take pictures to market yourself, do it right when they come out, because after that, every day after that, they're going to get cloudier and cloudier from the jump. So
and right then then you're stuck. So you gotta
then you're not. Yeah. Then you have 2 weeks till you're showing them off. So that's another important factor.
Also, I've also realized that unless they're your animals, it seems like everybody else's shed way faster. Because I feel like people show me pictures out of the egg, and then like 3 days later, they're like, "Look, it's shed," and you're like, "What the fuck? I've been waiting 3 weeks for mine." Like, not actually, but.
Yeah, I agree, David. About 12 to 15. I was talking about the initial start of it, about a week.
Yeah,
and then,
I've never had an egg box in the incubator for 2 full weeks after they all crawled out. Mm-hmm. So I'd say 15 is like far end. I'm not saying it's impossible,
right?
But I've never had one full 2 weeks after the last one crawled out.
And then you have those rare animals that don't want to shed first time. So, like you talked about, yeah, those are fun. Congrats, Callie. Good work. Hopefully they shed out pretty soon.
Did you hear what she did?
I think I heard what she did, but go ahead.
The fucking axanthic pies in her first clutch?
Yeah, I did. It was outstanding. That was outstanding. I'm still trying to make them 2 slugs later, 2 slug outs from an axanthic female later.
No, I'm joking. No, we're stoked to see it. But anyway, Rodney, once again, dude, thank you. This was fun as fuck. This is so good.
It was a good time.
I'm glad it turned out this good because I was so tired. I didn't know if I'd make it through, but
well, you
made it easy, man. You made it
great, and you did great. So get some rest and have a great weekend. Okay.
You too, man. Thanks again. I'm gonna drop you off, do my quick log off, and I'll touch base with you on Insta in a little bit, man.
Sounds good. We'll stay in touch, and thank you guys for showing up tonight. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Rodney. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. See you, buddy. Guys, that was fucking awesome. I know I say that every week, but legit, that was so fun. Rodney's a cool guy, tons of knowledge, and you know what? Just a fun guy to talk to. So that's it for this week. I do have something cool planned for next week, but I don't have it 100% in stone yet. I have 1 to 2 people set up for sure, but it's looking like we may have a roundtable. Don't hold me to that because it might end up just being a repeat guest, but it'll be a great repeat guest. But the plan is to have a roundtable next week for Canada Day. I think it'll be fucking great. I think it'll be super fun. And yeah. Oh, this way. Don't forget to join our Discord. If you don't know how, send me a message on Instagram or just check out our link tree on our Instagram profile. No, you have to send me a message. I actually took the link tree invite off. So send us a message on Instagram. Guys, thank you so much. Friday Night Live, number 17. We're out of here. Bye.